Hey class, today we're going to look at how to complete this Parliament in the X activity, how we actually are going to create this Google Slides and submit it on Canvas. So to get where we need to be to work on it, we should have already read our document, our PDF. We're going to go down, once again, we're in our Canvas course. We're going to go down to our outcome 1 again. We're still in lesson 2. And this is a PDF that we should have already read. And now we're going to open a slideshow. So you're going to open the slideshow, make a copy of it. And first thing we always do, remember we are going to retitle, get rid of the copy of, and change it to a title that makes sense to you. So I'm going to title this Parliament and the X Notes. Okay, so I'm titling it, and then as always, don't do anything until you move it to your Google Drive Social Studies folder. So I'm going to go to Move, and find your 7th grade folder, find your Social Studies folder, and then move it there. And hit Social Studies, and then Move. Okay, it's important that you put it there so that you know exactly where to find it, because when you need to submit it to Canvas when you're done with this, you're going to need to know where it's at and which folder it's in. So move it to your 7th grade Social Studies folder right now. Pause this video and do that right now for sure. Okay, so how are we going to fill this out? Well, let's follow along. So we've got, you've already done this. You read chapter 9, Parliament and Protests. I'm going to show you how you're going to split screen your copy of the slides and then the PDF copy of the text to help you complete the activity. So let me show you that if you're not familiar with how that works. It's going to look like, so I've got this Google Slides document right here, right? And I'm going to make this about half of my screen, right? And then I've got my PDF reading. Go make sure your PDF is open that you downloaded, and you can, make sure it's minimized. It's maximized. Make sure you minimize it, and then you can make that roughly the other half of your screen. So it'll be helpful to you. So you can be reading, the Sugar Act, and how does that fit into my notes over here? And you can just be, reading something here and putting it in there. So you have to open 2 separate Chrome browsers. Browser tabs, and you should have no problem doing that then. So that's how we do, we minimize and we make them each roughly half of your screen is one efficient way to do this. So what we're going to do, so we split our screen, and I'll eventually probably stop splitting my screen just to make it easier and bigger for you to see. But that's how you want to do it when you're trying to find information in the reading. So what we're going to do then, you are going to select 8 events that you read about that contributed most to the start of the Revolutionary War. So you're going to pick 8, any 8. So this is not going to be a quick thing that you're going to be, it will not take you 1 class period. This will take you multiple class periods to finish this. You're going to select 8 events. You're going to put 1 event on each slide. So whatever event you come up with, French and Indian War, any of the acts, you're going to type them in here, okay? Then in each slide, you're going to draw or insert an image or symbol that represents that event to you. So, give me a couple images in here for whatever event you picked. Then you are going to find the dates, and you're going to place them in here as well. And you're going to put them in chronological order, which is actually very easy because you can do them in any order. And then once you realize, which ones are which years, you can just drag the slides in the proper order. So that's not too hard to do. Just make sure they're in the right order chronologically, the earliest event first. And then in speaker notes, you're going to explain and defend why you selected that event. How did that event lead to the outbreak of the revolution? How did that event anger the colonists and turn the British and the colonists against each other? So you're going to explain that briefly down at the bottom of the slide in the speaker notes. So we're going to do one of these together so you can kind of get an example, and then I'm going to show you how to submit it, and then you're going to work on it. So let's do one of these slides together. So 8 events. The first one, if I go to my reading, if I go back to my reading, I can find the French and Indian War. And by the way, as you're looking through the reading, we're going to do French and Indian War, but make sure look at all the acts. They talk about the Boston Massacre. When they talk about the Tea Party, also think about the Tea. They don't really highlight it, but the Tea Act is certainly a key cause. So all those things are, we're going to talk about the French and Indian War first. The Sugar Act is definitely something that is going to lead to conflict. We talked about the Stamp Act. They're all look at all your headings in particular. The act right there. You've got another major event right there. Tea Party, which involves the Tea Act, which you should know about. So anything with a heading on it, you know, the punishment for the Tea Party right there. So those are all certainly things you're going to want to put as some of those major events for sure. So let's go back and look at our first choice, the French and Indian War. Here it says the French and Indian War had been very expensive, so Great Britain had a large debt, which means they owed a lot of money for fighting that war. So let's go ahead and we're going to type in here. Let me go back to the full screen here so you can see easier. And you can change your font, change your background color, you know, make it look nice, however creative you want to get with it. So certainly let's change. So French and Indian War is a topic. We're going to make it, change my background so it's not so bland. Yeah, we'll make this one green. Sure, looks good. This one's a green background. And we're going to have to figure out when the French and Indian War happened. So maybe I don't know that. Maybe it wasn't in the reading. So I can just figure out when the French and Indian War happened with a quick Google search. The French and Indian War. Here's a history.com article about the French and Indian War. And it doesn't take me long to find out. It started in 1756. It looks like it went to 1763. So 1756 to 1763. There you go, 1756 to 1763. Now, most of the years are going to be in your reading in that PDF, but this one we had to look up separately on our own. But that's when it happened. Okay, that's the French and Indian War. Then going back here, it says we need to. So that's one of our events. We need to find an image or images that represent the French and Indian War. So I can go to Insert, Image, and search the web. Let's say I'm going to search for French and Indian War images. There's one right here, and I can insert it right here. So it looks like you got the French and Indian War being fought. So that's one image that could work for us right here. And just to be thorough, we're definitely going to give more than one image. We're going to go Insert, Image. Here's our search box. It's like certainly a map is going to be important. See if we can find some detail on this one. Looks like you've got the British colonies. You've got areas France claimed. You got where the fighting happened between the French and then the British and their colonial allies. Because remember, in the French and Indian War, the British and the colonies are on the same side. So there's another image we can use. So we got some images that we could use here for our slide that look good and make sense. So we've dated them, and we'll place them in chronological order as we go. If the next event happened before that, we can move it. We could drag it before that. If it happened after that, we can drag it after that. And the last piece here is in speaker notes, defend and explain your selection in writing. So we have to explain why do we pick the French and Indian War. So let's go figure that out. How did this lead to revolution? How did this lead to the colonists getting angry? And let's look at our reading here. The French and Indian War had been expensive. Britain was left in debt. England then sent a standing army to America to protect the colonists. But in order to pay off that war debt, England had to send to America. The Parliament had to raise taxes. So just to kind of think that through, let's go type in our, these are called speaker notes down at the bottom. So you should be, I can see these as you type them, when you type them and submit them. So just include them down there. In our speaker notes, we're going to put down the French and Indian War was a war where, as we explained already, Britain and the colonies fought on the same side against the French and the Native Americans. Why is this going to be important? Britain, so they win. The side that both their side wins. The British and the colonists win. They defeat the French and their Native American allies. But Britain is going to, be in debt or owe a lot of money after the war. In order to pay for the debt or pay for the war, they will begin attacks the colonies because they feel like, hey, we sent our army to protect you, and then the colonies are like, we thought we were fighting on your side to help you because we were loyal British subjects. We didn't think you were then going to punish us by fining us more. So it becomes just a disagreement where both sides have a valid point that they both said thought they were doing the other side a favor and expect the other side to kind of cut them a break. And that's going to kind of lead to those tensions. So I've filled in this document. I've done everything I need to do here. I've got, I'm sorry, I typed the speaker notes in the wrong one. I typed them into this one. I meant to type these speaker notes. I'm going to copy those. I'm going to type these speaker notes into this set. I'm sorry. And so now the French and Indian War has these speaker notes right here. Perfect. I've got everything I need. I've got the event and the date. And I'm going to make sure they're in chronological order as I get going. I've got 2 images. And I have explained why this event helped lead to the revolution. It, made the 2 sides angry about the debt and paying back taxes. So you're going to do that for all 8 images. You're going to add, maybe the next one is the Sugar Act. Put the year on it, whatever year, 17, whatever year you find it is. And most of those years should be in the reading. So type that there. Find any other acts you come up with, any other major events. You can definitely find 8 of them. You need to find 8 of them. You can make them colorful and creative. Change font to make it look how you want it to look. And like I said, change around the order so that they match the order of how these events happened. So that's what you're going to work on. You'll fill up eventually all 11 of these slides because the first 3 are the directions, and then the next 8 are the ones you're going to create. And then the important thing is to submit it to Canvas. Okay, so we've got this done. We've got it saved in our Google Drive Social Days folder. Now we go back to our Canvas page. And if I go to, so here I'm in Canvas. So I should go to your student view. So you can see what I see. So student view, which is your view. We're going back to where we found the activity at. Outcome 1, lesson 2, Parliament and the Act slides. And we are going to submit. Now we're done. We're ready. Once we finish all 8, we're going to hit submit assignment. Like I said, this should take you all day of this class period and probably much of the next class period, and maybe even homework beyond that. You're going to hit submit assignment. Once again, don't pick file upload, don't pick Dropbox. You're going to pick Google Drive or Google Docs to make it work. Then you're going to find it. It won't show you on my screen, but you're going to find it in your Google Drive, and it should be in your 7th grade social days folder. Find it, and you're just going to hit submit. I think you hit the little blue submit button, and then you have to hit it once again and hit the red submit assignment button. And when you're done, after you submit that, you should see up here, instead of a submit assignment red button after you've submitted, it should now say resubmit assignment. That lets you know you've submitted it one time, and if you were to submit it again, you would be resubmitting it. So that's how you know if it was in fact successful. You'll see a resubmit assignment when you open the assignment tab. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have questions, I'm here in person or via email or Zoom to help you. So let me know, and good luck working on this, and be sure to let me know if there's any questions.